Welcome to Sage Smart Solutions. I'm Mark McKay.
And I'm Marcy McKay.
Marcy and I hosted a financial radio show called Smart Money Radio, where dollars make sense, out of Amarillo, Texas, for over 10 years. It was the number one local financial show for the Texas, Oklahoma Panhandle, corners of New Mexico and Kansas.
Gave us a lot of experience, and it was fun.
It was fun, and we did learn a lot over the years. We interviewed people such as hedge fund manager Jim Rogers, Harry Dent, Today Show NBC contributing money editor Gene Chatsky. Anyway, we learned a lot.
But your background goes way.
But I've been in the financial industry for over 30 years. I graduated from the Macomb School of Business with a degree in business, and stayed in Austin and went to work for your traditional big box wirehouse brokerage firm that it really was kind of what you saw. This was the early 90s, but we got on conference calls. We called it a squawk box with a guy from New Jersey that would say, listen, we need to move these munis from the Delaware. I'm like, why does my guy in Buda want to, that's a little town in Texas, want to buy New Jersey or Delaware Authority Transit Muni? Anyway.
And not only that, I remember what you would come home and say, they want me to push the flavor of the month. And you were always questioning them. What if that's not the best thing for my clients? And so,
they would say next. So, as a 26-year-old at Merrill Lynch, I didn't carry a whole lot of my stick with anyway.
Well, but why you ended up leaving is because the way they did business did not align with your values.
Well, I went to work in a major bank, and we started working more and more with CPAs and attorneys and estate planning attorneys. But even then, the bank kind of wanted the brokerage that the bank worked with had to, put your people in 60% growth stocks. We'll diversify with equity throughout the European Central Column. They had different names for the same junk over and over and over again, and it all underperformed. In the late 90s, you could throw a dart at the paper and get a 20% return.
Those days
are gone. But I started working, and I went out and created kind of a boutique practice, partnered with an estate planning attorney, went to work in a CPA office that, but along the way, I realized that the wealthy leave clues. And so we realized that these guys that, you may not notice that they were super wealthy. They weren't the ones driving the big Mercedes, but they were the guy with a $40,000 gentleman's ranch that he drove his, $60,000 pickup truck to. Anyway, you get it. But we started realizing that those people, they avoid losses with their core assets. They minimize taxes. They're not putting everything into a big tax deferred 401k or IRA.
Right.
Hoping that in the future taxes are going to be lower.
Right.
We're going to go into depth on that because that is one of the biggest risks. You've got a lot of your assets, or a lot of people have their assets in a bucket that at some point, some guy in Washington can say, hey, let's not take 24% of that. Let's take 32% of that.
Right.
Oh, you just lost a ton of money and you didn't do anything. Anyway.
Well, over the years, we learned that there
were smarter, safer ways of doing things,
absolutely.
And why not learn from what people were already being very successful with? We got very involved with some forms of the infinite banking concept, leveraged whole life, premium finance.
We'll explain.
We will later have quite a few videos on that, including a masterclass. I've gone on too long. Let me introduce Marcy.
You mean your lovely wife? So Mark and I have been married since 1990, and he's always been in the financial services industry. I am a writer, an award-winning writer, and my nonfiction book, Transforming Your Stress, hit #1 on Amazon's hot new releases in 2020. So I love personal development. And so I get hired by not-for-profit boards and businesses, and I've worked with families helping them work and play better together in the sandbox of life.
I've never mentioned this, but if for people out there that have followed the Showtime show Billions, which has the writing has gotten really weak in the last few years, but I'm in.
Yeah.
The Maggie Siff character, the she's kind of Marcy hasn't seen it, so she knows what I'm
I
talking
don't know.
about. She's a like a performance coach, psychologist. She comes in there and just she's doing it with these awful hedge fund barracuda predators. But that's what Marcy does. But Marcy does it for nonprofits and local agencies and educational. So
Marcy's making this world a better place.
she is. She's these people have great strategies in place and systems
and
in
good
place.
Hearts.
But sometimes they get in their own way, or you'll have genius A butts heads with genius B.
Right.
Marcy teaches them to make beautiful music together. So anyway,
well, and since we're going to brag on each other, one of the things that the stories that touches my heart the most about Mark is years ago, I was at the grocery store and ran into one of his clients and was just standing there visiting in the produce section. And I loved what she ended the conversation with. And she said, Mark doesn't just care about my money, he cares about me. And so we are real people. I mean, we've been married well over 30 years. We've got 2 20-something kids. We have dealt with the ups and downs of life, money crisis, putting kids through college. Oh my God, this bill just came in. How are we going to pay for this? I mean, if you reach out to us, you're going to be dealing with us and not, people that we've just hired to cold call for us. So we are real people
when you
wanting
reach
to
out,
help real people.
We don't have some 10,000 square foot office space that we just rented out and hired 20 millennial interns to get paid on commission.
Right.
We've been around the block a few times. If you call and we work out and it doesn't make sense for us to go forward, we'll be okay. You'll be okay.
Right.
And we'll all be smarter as a result of it. But
right. We want to help people, and we're interested in people that our values align with each other.
And we will be releasing we've got a number of videos available now. So please feel free to like and subscribe and check out some of our videos.
This is where I wish we were techie enough that it was like subscribe, ting.
Yeah.
We'll get there.
But please, we will have several videos coming out each week that will address. Marcy will address some of the issues, money issues, and some of the emotional issues of money and psychological issues,
especially talking to women
as they relate to women. Because
my people.
I think that this industry has not always been. Has not done a good job servicing that demographic, and which doesn't make any sense to me because there's more y'all than there
women
are
are people too.
And a lot of the strategies that we work with make a lot of sense because we are being very conservative with people's core assets and getting competitive rates of return and not setting up tax time bombs. But we will have videos that address both technical issues. We will go into some of the strategies that we employ, whether it's to help clients eliminate or greatly reduce taxes, get competitive rates of return on their cash reserves while providing incentives for employees. We'll talk about some of the psychological aspects of money and some things that as they affect our children, and my children are 21 and 24. So, we're going to talk about a lot of those issues from a parenting standpoint, but we'll be able to group those into playlists. So if you want to sit down and binge all our infinite banking or beyond infinite banking videos, you can do that. Or if the women in money is more of a concern, you sit down and binge that playlist. But
let us know what you'd like to hear. But bottom line, we're so happy to be here. We look forward to getting to know you better. Like, subscribe, bing, bing. And anyway, we look forward to getting to
And
know
if,
you
if you
better.
have thoughts and suggestions of topics you'd like to see us cover,
Leave us a
or
comment.
if you have direct questions, just leave us a comment.
Yeah.
Thanks for
Thanks.
checking us out.